Hey, welcome back for another album book club interview. Today we drove down to Columbus to interview Harmless Habit at this wonderful record store, Used Kids. Should be a fun one. It's a first in-person one. Let's get right to it. The name Harmless Habit, what does it mean? Where does it come from?
Damn, that requires a little bit of a time travel here. So Harmless Habit started when myself, John, and Rin, our drummer, were in college. And was it me, you, and Trevor, our original bass player, were just kind of sitting around like doing research, like, okay, so what's taken? I knew that Habit was going to be in there somewhere. We looked up Harmful Habit.
Harm's Way was honestly a
Harm's
choice
Way.
that we had, and that ended up becoming like a successful metal band. They're like, there's a Harm's Way out there, and they're killing it. So that one was off the table, but Harmless Habit is like kind of a mentality we kind of live by a little bit too, because it's like you kind of gotta keep it harmless if you wanna keep going in music.
But also, every time somebody's like, oh, what's your band name? I say Harmless Habit. They go, that doesn't exist. Harmless habits don't exist. And
Skip it.
Yeah.
Skip me. That's pretty harmless.
Listen to this.
So just like with listening to your songs, I kind of ran through all of them today on Apple Music, just to get a better idea of the sound. I've noticed there's a lot of influences from a lot of different styles that will kind of led you guys to creating this sort of the sound that you have.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Probably just exactly what you said. It's everyone having different influences and then kind of mashing them all together.
Yeah, it always starts out with like one idea that gets drastically changed by like the end result. Like if you compare like our demos to like what comes out on the record, it's like a whole different world. And it's cool because everybody gets to like put their own flavor on the track. Even if somebody comes up with the idea, like Max will add, his like, he's like a heavier guy, so it's like you kind of get some chugs, get some breakdowns, and then when we throw bass and vocals on there, it'll just kind of comes together as this thing that none of us could individually write. Yeah. And those are like the best songs. You couldn't come up with it alone.
I would say this too. The funny thing is the music that all of us like varies.
Oh, it's drastically different.
We
shit on each other's opinions.
Listen, I'll give you a prime example. Like, I love all 2000s rock, new metal, Korn, Deftones. These guys hate it. Okay, like,
Well, that includes me.
okay, maybe not Nick, but it's like the number one thing that these guys barter with me on. So what do? Right? So John will come up with this poppy, like funky, unique riff. Joey will come up with this melody. It sounds like Billy Joel over metal. It's kind of odd. And then I'm going to throw the chugs in and the weird time signatures and the breakdowns. And Nick is just going to make it 5 times better because he just does that. And then what happens is our drummer, he's not here. I don't know that he's just a funky dude.
Well, he started off as a jazz drummer.
He's not a metal guy or a rock guy at all. And so all of like the drum tracks in our songs are kind of like, I don't want to say jazz influenced.
They're just intricate.
Yeah, he thinks about it like differently than like a normal kind of rock drummer would.
So it's like a rock and roll lasagna. And you just gotta, like, whatever we bake, you're eating, dude. So hopefully you like it.
I like that analogy. Rock and roll.
Rock and roll.
Yeah, can you sing the soundbite of it?
Yeah, can we clip that? Yes.
Roll lasagna.
So you guys went on tour with Steel Panther. How did that come about, and how was it going on tour with them?
Well, y'all said that the first time you
That's the
saw
first time I
was
saw
at
him,
Bogart
yeah.
with Steel Panther, right? So we met Steel Panther playing with them at the Bluestone here in town the year before that, sometime in 21. Anyway, myself and Michael Starr kind of like hit it off on that basis, and we just kind of stayed in touch. And so when we saw that they were coming through Bogarts, we were like, hey, let's do that. And then later on, I just hit them up again, and I was like, hey, notice you have these tour dates in these cities. You mind if we, hop on to some? And they were like, yeah, like, here's our booking agent. Let's put you guys in touch. And they put us out with them for a little while. And so that was really cool. They're really, really solid dudes. Fun to be around, too.
We didn't have a booking agent or manager or anything at the time, so it was pretty cool. It was a pretty cool opportunity.
Just, making something out of nothing.
Yeah, we saw they didn't have any support for the rest of the tour, so we're like, you need a band? And they're like, you want to drive? And we're just, yeah.
That's pretty much it.
So playing on stage can always be like a stressful slash, really heavy thing. Are there any funny stage mishaps that you guys have had? Any really outstanding moments that it's just like, oh god, I didn't fail like that.
If you scour the internet hard enough, you will find a video of me going for a jump kick and just eating shit. At, like this tiny little bar on like whatever Bethel Road or whatever. It was very funny. That got turned into a couple of memes.
Oh yeah. Oh, that was. I mean, we can bring it back up.
Didn't miss a note
too.
though. Man
I
did
didn't
not
miss
skip
a
a
note,
beat.
but yeah, that hurts.
I have one too.
Yeah, everybody's fault.
Let's just all go through ours. Like,
Yeah, what do you got?
For it.
Oh, my boot came undone, so I had to like play on the stage in socks, and so I was and it was a little slippery.
It's
And-
concrete, right?
yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. We're a high energy band, and on the hard downbeat, I kind of went down, but like saved the guitar, which was the important part.
As long as you save the guitar.
Yeah. I'll take a head in. That's fine.
Looney Tunes, like feet up in the air.
Like very like banana peel sound effect would go well under it.
So there's a part in our set where John and I do kind of a solo battle with each other over a cover called Ain't No Rest for the Wicked.
Mhm.
And we were playing a show and they had no lights. So I could not see my guitar. I was relying completely on instinct. And when I say that I played the worst solo of my life, it wasn't even a battle, okay? I didn't know what I was doing. I got completely mopped in front of and like, when you look out and you see people and they kind of, it was so bad that they knew it was bad. And it was one of those moments where I was like, just get me out of this show, get me out of here. Let me get through this. So that was bad. That was bad for sure. But yeah, don't try to play a show with absolutely no lights. Or if you are going to do it, make sure you have glow-in-the-dark markers.
Dude, at least yours wasn't recorded through the board. Remember that one?
I think I do have his recorded through.
They called it the solo of doom. It's like similar thing happened, and it was like probably the worst 16 bars I've like ever played in my life. But it was the night that everything was like being recorded to the board, so he has like the audio file of just the guitar part soloed with nothing else in the background, and he just will play it from the computer and just listen.
It's awful.
It was a low point for sure. It happened though.
But then you got better.
Yeah.
Encouraged to get better.
Practiced a lot after that one.
For me, y'all know where this is going. So we did a New Year's show with a couple of
God.
bands from around here, and we had so at the time John was teaching guitar at the School of Rock in Gahanna around here. So we were like, okay, aside from the headlining acts, who are we gonna have on this show? And so we picked one of the bands from the School of Rock. It was a bunch of high school kids. They went up, they killed it. It was great. Because they were young, a lot of parents were in attendance, and as well as our fans. When I go on stage, I don't think about the things that I say. Things just come out of my mouth. And have you heard the expression, that fucks?
Yeah.
Yeah, as in like,
right?
That's good.
Yeah.
That's a cool thing. We like that, right? I was paying homage to the band that opened, and I was like, yo, give it up for those high school kids. Those kids fuck. And immediately realized my mistake and tried my best to play it off poorly.
I worked for that company. It's cool.
And
cool.
Yeah, because I don't think any of the parents know that terminology.
Oh god.
And it was bad. Yeah, I was very embarrassed, and I hope it doesn't come back to haunt us in the future.
This will be the clip. This will be the clip that goes viral, dude. We're gonna be that band.
Always an important question. Is there an album in the works? You guys have ideas floating around?
Oh yeah. I don't know. I wouldn't say like full length album just because we're kind of dropping singles right now, and eventually that will kind of turn into our next collective piece that we're releasing. But I mean, probably we got like 5 or 6 more demos that are ready to be turned into songs.
Yeah.
Currently we got one next one we're planning for probably next like 6 weeks or so. Trying to do one every 6 to 8 weeks, and we just dropped our last one, and it kills me last Friday. So that one is out. So
yeah, go stream that. I'd say we're probably on pace for 6 or 7 songs to drop this year, and we're just going to keep releasing them as singles. So, you know, traditionally you're going to have bands that would compile them into an EP, but for us, we feel like it's just a little bit more momentum to continually release singles and just have everybody continue to engage with the music that we're creating. And each one of these singles too sounds a little bit different on a case-by-case basis. And that's the fun part. Again, like you're taking 5 guys, writing with these guys is not the easiest thing. It's like the hardest thing I've ever had to do in my life, okay? Because none of them, we don't like any of the same music for the most part. So, but when we do come up with a song that we're all a fan of and we can all collaborate on, then it's like, that was so different than the last release, and that felt different than the last release. And I think that's what's exciting about the next probably 6 songs to 7 that we're going to have total at the end of the year, is just something for everybody to say, wow, I feel like I'm on a journey from song to song, right? And that's kind of the goal there. So who knows if we'll compile it into an EP or if we're going to get into purposing it into an album, but there's definitely a lot of music this year. So hopefully we'll just send it to you and say, hey, maybe you review the 2024.
if it sucks, we won't put it out.
Yeah.
You guys.
We'll be the judges. I think if you asked all of us, we'd probably all have different answers for a favorite song.
Case in point.
What are some? Yeah, but say, let's hear him. Let's hear him.
Mine is My Distraction or your cover of Ain't No Rest for the Wicked. That fucks.
Yes.
I'm a big Still No Paradise fan. That's it.
Oh yes.
I'm Ain't No Rest for the Wicked. That was the one that stood out to me today because I listened to your guys' entire discography twice today.
Oh, dude, thank you.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
We
I decided it was time for a deep dive.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll try to like make the covers not sound like the original.
Oh yeah, it was so like stylistically different, and
Dude,
has so much of your unique sound coming through. It's such a good cover.
Oh, dude, I appreciate hearing that from you guys so much because we got shit on for that cover.
The internet.
Oh,
hated
what?
it.
God,
Really?
we got shit on for that cover. I think we put it out as like, you remember when like Facebook ads were kind of like a thing, and like probably
Facebook
like
targeting.
3 or 4 years ago. So we had one that like kind of did well and went out to a bunch of random people, and I think they were either like hardcore Cage the Elephant fans or just like people with a lot of hate and anger. It's like,
Oh well, no, it was just like, we targeted like, you know, you could put in specific like fans of specific bands like in your targeting demographics, and we put Cage the Elephant in there. So like it was pushed out to people who like love that band, and they just shredded us, dude.
You call us like Nickelback and stuff, which I thought was a compliment. That's like Nickelback, but yeah, that's pretty funny.
Yeah, I'll say I'm a huge Cage the Elephant fan, or Cage the Elephant. Sorry, Cage the Elephant fan. Oh, but I love the cover, like,
dude, thank you.
because you guys just bring something else entirely to it, and it kind of just changed the whole feel of a song. And it's just, I don't know. I was bumping it in the car today, and I was like, I gotta listen to this again. Hold on.
We played it live all the time, and it always went over really well live. So we figured like we might as well have a recorded version for people who, you know, came to watch our set because they heard that song. So yeah, I'm glad you guys like it, because we'll push the ads to you guys.
Go for
Bring
it.
them on.
All right, one more. What's your favorite?
My favorite was Fighting Sound, but then
Oh yeah, buddy.
For the aspiring musicians out there that, you know, want to be in your guys' shoes one day, what advice would you give them, you know, for those starting out?
Ooh, for an artist, like let's say you're like a band that's already kind of getting started, getting some shows. Okay, something that I found super helpful that somebody actually told me to do was, if you ever get the chance to like open up for a bigger act where there's like a line out the door, spend $150, go print out 1,000 stickers, and just pass them out to everybody who's standing in line. Because people who are like waiting, and if you approach them and give them free stuff, right? Like people aren't gonna say no. And then you get a chance to say, hey, like, we're in the band that's going on before these guys, and then people, they are more likely to approach you afterwards, right? And you can kind of build those connections, and actually like talking to a human is probably the most genuine and authentic way to really like build a fan base and kind of connect with people. Because even if your music's great, like if people think you're an asshole, they're not gonna listen to you, and they're not gonna kind of like be a fan or kind of support you for the long run. So that's that's something that I usually try to do whenever we kind of have a big show.
He does it every time.
You know what I think people love too, and I love this. I love doing it. Is when we play a show. Say we play a show with a bigger act. Right after we get done, we go and hang out with the crowd and watch the headliner play.
Yeah, huge one.
And everybody always kind of scratches their head. They're like, "You were just up there." Be like, "Yep," and now I'm down here. You know, because like we're still fans. And I think the funny thing is you're asking this question about advice, and I feel like we can offer enough advice, but we're still looking for it too. That's the cool thing about this situation that every musician's in, is like, if you think you're too cool to learn something new or to continue to grow, that's a bad thing. So, you know, we're still trying to learn and grow things as well. But, you know, I would say to John's point, people remember people. They remember how you make them feel. Hang out with them, spend time with them, and they won't forget you. You know, and I still think about the bands that I saw that came to spend time with us growing up, and that still holds good memories in my heart. So I want to be that guy for somebody else.
Also practice.
Yeah, practice.
Practice,
For
like,
sure.
Don't skip out on that. Like, talk to people, but you practice as a band.
I would say probably have good merch designs. You want people wearing your shirt. You want people.
Speaking of cool merch, we have some of our own. One of my favorites is the Porn Stash's back hoodie. We have a ton of other options that you can check out on albumbookclubfourthwall.com or the link in the description.
People looking cool.
It's been said before that the way that the music industry is set up right now, any band or musician is a glorified t-shirt company, and there's some truth to that. Like,
Too much truth to that, but yeah. Yeah, make it look cool. We want people rocking it and looking good.
We've done this at the end of every interview we've done, but give us a suggestion for an album to review on the weekly podcast.
Ooh, like something that we've been listening to lately?
Yeah.
No, I think one of my favorite albums of all time is from a band called Seven Dust, which again I get flack from these guys for it, but they have an album called Animosity.
I think it sounded like haters, dude.
They you know, they kind of are. But listen, Animosity from top to bottom, just review it sometime. Such a great album. I love it. And I just think their vocalist has such a unique sound, and their band is heavy but also melodic and big choruses, and you know, it's great. I think it's one of the best albums in rock ever, and I would check it out.
I'm a huge fan of. Have you guys ever listened to Mariana's Trench?
Ooh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
So they have an
That's a
album
really
called
good one.
Phantoms, which came out in I think it was like 2018 or 2019. First of all, their singer is out of this world good. I'm pretty sure he's classically trained. Dude is an absolute monster, and it's
like 12-part harmony.
Yeah.
Like, it's disgusting.
It's nuts. Phantoms is an album about this guy whose wife dies and lives in a house that's haunted by her ghost. And all the songs are about, like, you know, coping with that and like having to deal with, you know, seeing her ghost and like missing. It's fucking amazing, and it tells this beautiful story. Frankly, it could be a Broadway musical, but definitely check that one out.
You guys ever heard of Maximum the Hormone?
No.
They're like Japanese System of a Down.
Oh.
Have you guys ever watched Death Note?
I have.
The anime or the
Yeah.
movie?
Like the second season where like the intro is like a metal band.
Oh,
That's,
them? Okay.
Yeah, that's that band.
They're
And they're
intense.
fucking sick. If you like System of a Down or like the hits that System of a Down like made, it's very close, but like all like aggressive, like Japanese. Like it sounds cool.
Their music is like if bipolar was a sound.
That's like flips genres like every 30 seconds.
Like,
Like it's kind of
literally.
wild.
Jazz to gent to deathcore
To reggae.
to reggae to pop in like 5 minutes. It's just, I mean, the talent to do it is crazy. Like
It's a wild ride.
it's a wild ride.
It'd be a fun review.
Yeah, and if you reviewed that, you'd be like, I give this song a 10. Just
No,
because
you'd
it's
be
so
like,
creative.
You'd be like, I would give this 15 seconds a 10. This next 15 seconds a 2.
Right.
This next 15 seconds a 4.5.
Yeah.
And then we're back at a 10.
Big thank you to Harmless Habit for joining us. Is there anything you guys want to shout out or plug or anything?
We just had a new single release last Friday. It's called And It Kills Me. We also had a single a couple months before that called Soft and Silent Tragedy come out. So if you get a chance, listen to both of those. Let us know how you feel about it, and hopefully we'll come and jam them in a city near you.